So you want to get started mining. That's cool. I'm all about it. My name is VoskCoin on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I've been mining crypto full time for over 5 years, and I've learned a lot along the way, a lot of expensive lessons. Let's just jump into it, right? You know, should you start mining? Oh my God, crypto's crashing down. They said I was gonna be rich. What about the Lambos? Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today we're gonna be talking about, maybe you guessed it, cryptocurrency yet again. I'm here with Crypto Chick, and you know that's Tails right there.
Hey guys, 25 upvotes and Miss Voss gets a date.
I don't mind vegetables on my farm. I mind bitcoins and other digital currencies. It's Sonic of the VoskCoin YouTube channel, and today I'm doing an unboxing and an overview of the mining cave Cheetah. That's up to you. You do whatever you want to do. A lot of it comes down to running the numbers. What's your electricity rate, right? How much is it going to cost you to run some of these mining rigs? Keep in mind there's different types of miners. There's ASIC miners. These are purpose-built machines. All they do is mine crypto, and specifically normally just one crypto mining algorithm. For example, a Bitcoin miner pretty much only mines Bitcoin or some wannabe Bitcoins. Of course, there's graphics cards, GPUs. This is multi-purpose hardware. Really, all of the GPU mining profitability revolves around Ethereum. Ethereum is the backbone. Ethereum is moving away from being mineable, and that will absolutely crush GPU mining, in my opinion. But hey, some people are betting against it, and like always in bets, somebody wins, somebody loses. I can tell you that I'm not personally adding any GPUs to my mining arsenal right now, but I think if you have a graphics card that is profitable for mining, like in say your gaming PC, like my game rig behind me, I mine with that. I use hardware I currently have, or if you're building out a gaming PC for yourself, but you also want to just earn some passive income with it, or a nice work from home rig, a video editing rig, whatever. I think that's a great opportunity. All the more reason to also splurge for a Ryzen CPU, which typically perform much better than Intel CPUs for CPU mining, but CPU mining has become less and less lucrative over the years as well. There's also this thing called helium mining. You mine with radio waves. It's pretty cool. It's pretty simple. You buy the device, you follow the prompts in the app, and you set it up. It's just pretty much just one per house. We've talked a lot about helium mining on the channel, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. This is supposed to be just kind of like an overview, basics kind of thing. So I have those different types of mining. I bring them up and just touch on them because you need to really know what kind of mining you're getting into. For example, if you want to set up a bunch of ASIC miners in your home, you need to normally get 220, 240 volts set up, right? We have an electricity guide on this and how to get started to do it efficiently and safely. That's largely because if you look at these big miners, we call these like industrial grade miners, right? These are big, bad, powerful miners. They're basically a big version of this little guy behind me, and that's a mini Doge Pro miner, which is a really cool way to just casually stack up Doge. It's mining right now, and yet you can still hear me clearly on the video. It's a testament to this being quiet, small, and it's a low energy footprint as well, and only uses about 200 watts. That's comparable to most modern graphics cards when you're gaming. But my point is that this one is a little one with a little power brick, and it runs on 110 to 240 volt. Basically, you could plug it into any outlet in the world if you have the right outlet receptacle connector there, which I'll talk more about that here in a second, and some common mistakes people make there. But my point is that with these big miners, they all in this era, not all of them, most of them have built-in power supplies. They're literally just attached to the side. It's an integrated power supply. These power supplies can be changed, but why? You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you may run into issues, right? This power supply comes with it. It's designed to work in conjunction with it. It will work. Just don't mess with it, keep it running. So my point though is that most of those are only rated for 220 to 240 volt electricity. And don't let electricity scare you, okay? Basically, and let's just talk about the US. because the United States is a little weird. All your wall outlets will work for 110, 120 volt, right? But all single phase electricity can also be routed to have a 240 volt receptacle, and with that, you can then plug your miners in. I'm sorry if I'm getting a little technical. It's just electricity is a very serious thing, because if you do it wrong, you're going to fry your miner and you're going to create a fire hazard, and you're going to put yourself and everything you own and everyone you maybe care about all at risk, all at the same time, while you're just trying to mine magical internet money. Rookie mistakes are one thing, but making safety mistakes with very expensive things that can cause a lot of damage, it's a very serious topic. But I'm not trying to scare you either. Just relax, slow down, take your time. And if you have any questions, ask down in the comments below, or post a thread on VoskCoin Talk, our forum that's basically dedicated to crypto mining. So yeah, basically you understand the basics of electricity here, the types of miners, and then you just start running the numbers of how much does this thing make, what's my electricity rate, and basically will I make more money than I earn. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can be a hobbyist. You can just be having fun. You're stacking up coins, and who cares if this thing costs $1 a day to run? It's not a big deal. It's 30 bucks a month. Just don't order a burrito next week, and I don't know, you're more or less good to go, especially with the price increases lately on everything. I mean, hey, here's another way to look at it, which is actually very sad. It's just 6 gallons of gas, man. It's just 6 gallons of gas. But I guess that's the next thing I want to open up a little bit more and talk about. There's 2 ways to mine: hobbyist and then for profit, right? For profit basically leads you down the path of you doing this to make money. Passive income is the dream. Start with a couple miners, proof of concept, and then build out your own either mini or large mining farm. Hobbyist, you think this stuff is fucking cool, which it is, and you're stacking coins along the way. How cool is that to have a hobby that pays you back? Yeah, I'm all about it. I absolutely love both directions. It really just depends, what you want to do. You can have a lot of fun with just one miner. You can have a lot of fun with a bunch of miners, or it can get a little stressful. You start over leveraging yourself, and it becomes a job, and it can become stressful. And crypto is very volatile. It can do a number on your psyche, because as cryptocurrency prices fluctuate, so does the mining profitability. Personally, I think there's 2 miners that are the best for getting started with right now in this era. Gold shell box miners. Why? Because they're some of the cheaper miners, they're quiet, and most of them earn more than they burn in electricity. And then there's also the helium miners. These things cost like $5 a year to run. And it's very fun. It kind of gets you in the mix of things. Helium's an interesting project, pivoting towards 5G and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to push it on you or shill you. You do your own research, whatever you want to do. That's just personally what I recommend. If you're like, yo, I love Bitcoin, I want to start mining Bitcoin, well, then you really need to watch the electricity guide and then get a proper current gen Bitcoin miner. In my opinion, basically nothing with efficiency less than an Antminer S19, right? Some people still ask about, oh, what about the Antminer S9? I'm like, hey bro, what is it, 2017? I'm done hearing about this miner. It's old news, it's old hardware. Okay, these things have been just churning and burning for many, many years now. It's a risk to buy it. They're all used. They're not efficient. If you have them, keep it running if your electricity is good, but it's not the miner you should be seeking out, in my opinion. Bitcoin mining is expensive because some of the biggest players in the world are mining Bitcoin now, and just understand that. But mining Bitcoin is a lot of fun. Honestly, it feels really cool, and it's something you can be very just confident with. Bitcoin's going to be here next year. It's going to be here in 5 years. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be profitable. Bitcoin is valuable. It's established itself, very much so. But because of that, potential mining returns has diminished because more people are participating, more people are trying to eat up that same piece of, Bitcoin mining pie.
Hey guys, it's Ms. Vosk here to tell you about today's video sponsor, Wattum. Wattum is a complete Bitcoin mining solutions provider. They've got ASIC miners, mobile mining containers, transformers, hosting services, fully built out facilities, and their own operating system powered by HiveOS. They also have a team of over 100 mining experts behind the scenes that can help answer your questions and put together installment payment plans to help scale your mining setup. Check out the link in the video description below to learn more about Wattum.
I said I was going to talk about receptacles and outlets and stuff like that. So you need to understand what outlet you have in your house or wherever you're deploying this or whatever else, right? So we have like NEMA 15 plugs, which best way to think of this would be like your typical computer or electronics plug here in the United States. It's got the 3-prong that goes into like the back of your devices, and then it's got the 3-prong that goes into the wall. It looks like this. that's fine, that's great, and just understand that you'll want some of those cables on hand. If you get a PDU, you start using PDU cables. PDU looks like a giant surge protector, right? They're very useful. And all mining rigs would work with two types of plugs there. So you have a C13, C14, as well as a C19 and a C20. They look different. A C19, C20 are bigger cables. They can handle a bigger load, and there's less receptacles on PDUs for them, which is just kind of naturally to be expected because the juice you pull through those will quickly eat up a 30 amp PDU or power distribution unit, right? The C13, C14, it looks like your typical computer cable plug on one end, but the other end is the C14 that plugs into the PDU instead of being a NEMA 15. And it sounds a little crazy, but basically there's only 3 or 4 power cables you need to know here in the United States, and that's the C13, C14, C19, C20, right? Then you have the NEMA 15, and on the back of a NEMA 15 could be a C13 or C19, whatever needs to plug into that power supply. And I don't really know a better way to explain it like audibly, but hopefully all these visual prompts help you just clearly understand. And you just go like into Amazon, or I'll just link it out below actually, and you just put in C13, C14 cable, and you get what you want. And then you just specify the length, whether you want 1 foot or 6 feet or 12 feet. Other than a power cable, all you need is Ethernet, right? You hardwire internet to it. How do you get more Ethernet receptacles though? You use something called an Ethernet switch, and you grab as many as you want. I've got a huge switch by TP-Link in my garage mining farm, and I've got a smaller switch in my basement mining farm, and it gives me enough, Ethernet ports that, for what I'm doing. How do I get Ethernet ran throughout my house? Well, you could literally just run cables and hardwire it, but the way easier thing to do is just use something called a power line adapter. You just plug this thing in, and it literally sends internet throughout your house on your power. It's power over Ethernet. It's pretty cool. So I plug one in near my router where my internet, stems from, right? I plug one in to say like my garage, and then I plug an Ethernet cable from the one near my router into my router, and now it is sending Ethernet throughout my house. And I plug one in my garage, it picks it up literally just from the outlet, and then I run an Ethernet cable from the power line adapter in the garage to my switch, and bam, I have hardwired internet throughout my house for like $100, and that's the high-end one. There's even cheaper ones you could get, and if you want. Personally, I found all these things so overwhelming and so much just convoluted information of there's 29 ways you can do things, but yeah, a bunch of nightmares, a lot of wasted money, a lot of wasted time. There were not half as many, quarter as many resources as there are now today for all this stuff, a few years ago, and just truly lost in the sauce. But really you just need some power cables and the Ethernet ran throughout your house, and make sure you can handle the electricity load. Never use more than 80%, it's the 80% rule of the electricity on a circuit. So let's say you have a 10 amp circuit, okay? And you can check all this by looking at the main breaker in your house. So that 10 amp circuit means it runs 10 amps. 80% of 10 is 8 amps. So you never want to draw more than 8 amps from that circuit. You can draw 8, 9, maybe even push it towards 10, but it starts to become a risk, a fire hazard. And once you get around that limit, the breaker is likely to trip. It's tripping to save you from basically pulling too much, overheating, burning down your house. A little bit of prep work and research, you'll be good to go. Figure out what is on that circuit, right? Do some testing. Figure out if there's anything on it that you should know about, right? Then run the math for your rig, right? There's online calculators, and I can be like, okay, so this pulls 233 watts. And that's at 120 volt. How many amps does that do? Or 240 volt. How many amps does that do? I mean, you just go watts to amps calculator, and I'll link it out down below, but you see it on screen. I mean, very simple, very straightforward. Get you started, get you running. So, I mean, really, that's kind of like the basics of, I love mining, so I'm going to say like, yeah, you should totally do it. It's a lot of fun. It's been life-changing for me, and I've had an absolute blast, and how fun is a hobby that also makes you money. I'm all about it. But that's really the basics of just, some basic miner types, the really basics of electricity and Ethernet and kind of getting started. And, I could talk all day about it, but I don't want to make this too long. So, this will just kind of serve as the basic tips here. The other thing I'd say, it's not financial advice, but let's say you turn dollars into your rig. Let's say you send, we'll use round numbers. You put $1,000 in to buy, or $900 to buy the miner. Costs you $100 a year to run it. You happen to mine $1,000 over the next year in crypto. Let's say Dogecoin. In my opinion, sell the $1,000 of Dogecoin. Then you've paid off your miner. You pay the electricity, and then from there you can do whatever you want to do. Whether you want to just keep selling frequently, or you want to stack up a bunch of coins and hold diamond hand towards the top and whatever else. The big takeaway is just don't get over leveraged, don't get overextended. Market conditions can get very red, very bearish for a while. It's pretty miserable, it sucks, it's very demotivating. But when times are good in crypto, a nice green bull market, you're gonna have a fun time. And having just a bunch of coins during that period is a great experience. Furthermore, your miners will become so valuable from the hardware. The hardware appreciates greatly in green markets, bull markets, when the coins that thing mines would send towards all-time high, right? And also, obviously, the coins you're mining, the daily profitability goes up. There's a bunch of other factors, like generally speaking, mining difficulty increases long term. There's new miners that can come out and basically are more efficient, can make your miner less profitable. There's a lot of variables, but it's just kind of like everything else. Buy the latest and greatest stuff that fits your budget, have fun, and you're probably gonna do well. Just like everybody does well when they slap that subscribe button. I hope you join me on my crazy crypto journey and subscribe. I hope this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form. If it was, please also hit the thumbs up. And as always, seriously, thanks for watching. We upload daily here, so I hope I see you tuning in tomorrow as well. Bitcoin's so cool. We're working with BlockFi to bring a Bitcoin race car into existence. Yeah, your boy's an amateur racer, and once in a while, I even sneak out a dub. But the crazy part about all of this is that you can support crazy missions like this, as well as get $250 for free by smashing our BlockFi link down in the video description below.